Welcome to Film Riot. Off the bat, last week for the accessories episode, I forgot to mention that with the Moondog's anamorphic adapter inside of Filmic Pro, they have it built in that you can correct for that inside the app. And I just forgot to mention it, which is a really cool feature, and you can actually have it done and set inside the app or just use it to monitor and then do it later in Adobe as we showed in the episode. But moving on, something that I saw this week was from Corridor Digital's second channel, Sam and Nico, which we have talked about on the show before. It's sort of a vlog channel. They do some really great stuff, have some really great info on there as well. But recently they were talking about how Linus Tech Tips posted a video complaining about the price of the new Red camera, which is kind of hilarious because he's a YouTube channel posting technology reviews using an 8K Red cinema camera, which doesn't make any sense at all. And then to complain about that is just odd. But they go ahead and they break down all of the reasons why that's completely inaccurate and sort of a silly video overall. And I really like the mindset behind all of it. There's this odd thought process that goes alongside of expensive gear and cheap gear and what things should cost and assuming why something's valuable and how it's valuable. And it's just totally inaccurate. We see it even when we post the iPhone episode showing that even with something that you find in your pocket, you can start making great stuff. Now people are complaining that the iPhone is actually expensive and completely missing the point that it's all about with whatever you have right now, you can get started right now. But the point overall being each different device has its upsides and downsides, and when you get into cinema cameras, it's a much different beast. So to complain about spending that much money because you're making a YouTube video is very odd. Anyway, go check out the video. They have a lot of great things to say. Another thing I saw recently were some VFX breakdowns of the face replacement for Hugh Jackman in Logan. It's kind of surprising every time you see this sort of thing where you have a stunt performer doing their thing and then they replace it out with a complete CG face of the main actor, and you never knew that that was a thing. So definitely check that out. It's always impressive to see that stuff. Then I'm sure a lot of you have already heard, but Red is coming out with a phone, which is probably going to be a cinema camera in your pocket. It's going to be modular like all of their stuff that you can be able to build it out. I'm very interested to see where this is going to go and what exactly it's going to be, but there is a hands-on review out there right now. You can find a link to that video in the notes below. Then more with the BTS goodness, there is a Game of Thrones behind the scenes look at how they did that big battle sequence with all the ships. You can find it on YouTube right now. It's actually a decent length and they get a lot into how they pulled off that sort of thing. And I was really surprised to see how they did all of it because I was wondering that myself, and I'm always impressed with how HBO is pulling off a lot of their VFX. You got a lot of high quality, borderline feature film level VFX happening now on television, and it's really crazy to see. So definitely go and check that out to get a look at how they accomplished that. It's always good to see how the majors are accomplishing different things because it helps you get sort of a grasp of what the thought process is, and then you can sort of reverse engineer and come up with a way that you can pull off the same thing. It's how I did it when I was a kid. The only thing we had was Movie Magic on the Discovery Channel, but seeing sort of the process and the thinking that went into creating certain things gave you a look to start thinking outside the box yourself and creating similar things in a totally different way with what you could find in your garage. And finally, recently, me and Josh went to LA to interview Dan Trachtenberg, director of 10 Cloverfield Lane and one of the best Black Mirror episodes, and David Sandberg, who directed Lights Out and the coming Annabelle creation. The first interview is going up on Thursday with David. He had some amazing things to say. His story is insane. He went from living in Sweden, making films in his house with his wife, to all of a sudden making Hollywood films. What felt like overnight to all of us. There was a lot of work to get there, but he talks about all of that. So definitely make sure you come back on Thursday to see that. If you're a budding filmmaker, entrepreneur, innovator, Domain.com is the place to go when the next idea hits you. And when you buy a domain name from Domain.com, you're taking the first steps in creating a vision and identity for your brand or idea. And the world's top two premier, most recognizable domain name extensions are .com and .net, which means those are the ones that are going to help you build your brand and expand your presence online the best. From now until August 31st, you can get 35% off by using the coupon code FILMJUMBO when you get domain names, web hosting, and email. Just use the coupon code at checkout. So when you think domain names, think Domain.com. Logo. So that's it for today and for what I'm watching. I just bought Alien Covenant. It is out on iTunes or any streaming to purchase, and in the special features they have something called Masterclass with Ridley Scott. It's like an hour-long sort of documentary on making the film. There is a lot of sort of elevated the material talk, which is really annoying because I don't know what to do with that. You're just saying, hey, this guy's good at what he's doing. I want more meat. But there is a lot of great info that goes into Ridley Scott's process. So So if you dug the movie and you dig Ridley Scott, definitely check that out as well. And until next time, don't forget to write, shoot, edit, repeat.